Responsibility in rules. The President of the United States, because of his identity, has a responsibility to keep certain rules that other people don't have to keep. He just can't, decide he wants to go to Mickey D's at night with Laura and just jump in his car and go by himself. He can't show up at a venue just anywhere where he wants to go. They send out teams in advance that give him the rules of where he needs to go in advance. And the rules save his life. Let's read Proverbs 19:16 together. Keep the rules and keep your life. Careless living kills. You see, when you come into Christ, you need to surrender to God's plan, manage your mind, pursue people. But then, in this freedom issue area, you need a whole new constitution, my brother. You need to build some new aggressive boundaries. Let me give you an example. When I was 13, my father was the town alcoholic. Where do you get your son a job? Oak Tree Liquors. So at 13, because I'm a good Navy brat, I work hard, I get the job at Oak Tree Liquors. After halftime and all the Bud and Coors Light goes out of the refrigerator, I'm left with time on my hands and a rack of pornography a mile wide. So what is a boy to do? They start perusing the fine literature. Okay, fast forward. I'm not 13. I'm 43. I'm watching a football game with my son. The Silver Bullet commercial comes on. I don't know what the connection is between beer and women in bikinis in the snow, but obviously the advertisers do. So the Silver Bullet commercial comes on, and I look at my son. I said, "Hey, Ryan, what's going on? What's happening, man?" He's looking at me like, "What in the world are you doing?" And I said, "Hey, you know what? Just talk to me. There's that going on over there, and I want to honor God and your mommy. Will you just talk to me for a couple minutes?" And he's like, "Okay." 2 weeks later, I'm upstairs. My kids are watching football. It's Kara and Ryan. I hear the Silver Bullet commercial come on. And then I hear, "Hey, Kara, what's going on? How you doing? What's going on? What's happening? How you doing?" You want your daughter to marry my son because he knows how to honor God and his future wife already with his eyes. How did it start? Because I had a boundary in my life that anytime I see too much skin, I have to turn my eyes away and I have to do something else. I walk away, I turn to God's people, and I turn to my warrior son. And we start talking. That's what I'm talking about in terms of it. You need boundaries on your computer where you can and can't go in advance. You need boundaries in your office, who or who you won't meet with privately. You need boundaries at church, pastor. You need boundaries at church staff. Sometimes the church is the most dangerous place to be without boundaries because people assume you're a saint when you're a shark. You need boundaries on the road. You need to take that DVR thing and your cable thing and just when it puts in the code for locking it out, you just need to go like that. Plug in the code and not remember it. See what I'm talking about? You got to have rules in advance, a new constitution, a new normal in order to win freedom. When we treat alcoholics in our alcohol and drug program at Saddleback, we give them what's called a discharge plan. A discharge plan are the rules to prevent relapse. So when they leave, they have relationships, education, places to be, where they can be, where they shouldn't be, all in advance. Now, when you have good boundaries, men, they do a couple of things. Number one, they make your struggle real. And that requires courage. Like, sitting there watching football with my son, he said, "Dad, what are you doing?" Do I want to tell my son that I struggle with sexual temptation outright? Not necessarily, but I had to tell him. I said, "Look, this is bad. I can't honor God and your mom if I look at it." I didn't have to say, "Well, Daddy read pornography when he was 14, son." But I have to make my struggle real. It can't be real to him if it's not real to me. Second, it starves the wrong desires and feeds the good ones. When I have good rules in my life that keep me from feeding or acting in a certain way, the good desires come about. And then third, it removes the pressure. I can't dance with temptation if I don't make it to the dance floors. And so the rules prevent me from even going there. Can I just boil this down for you? Any place where you are tempted, you have to put a boundary here, not here. You have to put it here and just say, sorry, not going there. Going to a trade show, going on a work trip. Guys are going to the club, right? Or you know what's going down. Hey guys, sorry, hey, have a good time. I'm gonna go work out. Well, actually, don't tell them, have a good time. Say, plan to work out right now. That's your boundary. As soon as the movement goes this way, I'm going this way. Flee, run. You gotta ask yourself, who am I? Am I God's man? Which way am I gonna go? In just the same way a physical boundary demands that we go a certain way, a spiritual boundary leads us away from bondage.